It's all yours.
All right, welcome everybody. Excited to be here tonight. Talk a little bit of our multiple screen game at Ramapo. Nate put this one out as our new screen game. Well, I hope I don't disappoint anybody. I'm not sure there's too much new here, but it's just a presentation we've updated that we've done in the past for end zones. So we'll get right to work on it right away. Talk a little bit about our screen philosophy. Now, we've been a 50-50 run-pass team at Ramapo the last couple of years. We throw the ball a lot, and the screen package has been a big part of what we do. One of the things that we think is you need a different screen for the different coverages that you're going to see during the year. You know, some teams play us zone coverage. We have certain screens we like against zone. Other screens are better against man. You know, we have other screens that are good against blitz. So when we plan our offense for the week and what screens we're going to use, the coverage that we're going to see for the week is a big part of how we determine which screens we're going to run. Throughout the year, we want to have multiple presentations for the same screen. Noel sent us an email last week or earlier this week, and he talked about the simplicity of the offense. Well, you know, I think our screen game takes advantage of that. We have 3 different screens, but we can present them in many, many different ways, combine them in different ways to make it more complicated for the defense and to protect some of our concepts. So we're going to present the same screen in multiple ways. We're going to combine our screens with complementary concepts. So for us, we rarely, if ever, call just a straight screen. You know, we're going to go here with the ball on a screen pass. Most of our screens have some type of complementary concept, whether it be a pass route, a comet, something like that attached to it. 2 screens put together. One of the things that I like in the screen game is throwing screens on first down. Again, we're a very multiple a team has a good mix of run pass. We're a 50-50 team on first down run pass, and we really like the screen game on first down. You know, 15, 20 years ago, I think we were calling a lot of screens on third down. Screen was a third and long play or a third down play for us. We like screen for the most part right now, much better in first down and second and medium situations. One of the things that we've picked up for our quarterbacks that we think is a very important coaching point is that we tell our quarterbacks to never throw a screen over a rushing lineman. All right, we want him to learn to find throwing lanes to the back. As a defense, we've picked off screens that have been thrown over our defensive end. The kid stops his feet, jumps up in the air, bats it down, picks it off. Against one of our big rivals 2 years in a row, we returned a screen for a touchdown because we had a good key as to when they were going to throw it. And, you know, our kids stopped, jumped, and picked those things off. The other thing I think happens when your quarterback throws a screen over a lineman, now you've got a soft ball. Now you've got a ball that spends a lot of time in the air. The defense can react to the screen, rally to it, get there much sooner. So we do an individual drill with our quarterbacks where we work hard on a quarterback takes his drop. He's got an edge rusher. Could be a coach, could be another quarterback simulating the edge rusher. And we've got a screen guy out there, and we make him take his drop and readjust to find the throwing lane to the screen. Sometimes it'll be an outside rush. He'll step up and in to throw the screen. Other times it'll be an inside rush. He'll float to the outside. But drilling your quarterback on how to create a throwing lane to the screen ball is something that we think is very important at Ramapo. So for us, we have 3 different types of screens. If you'll notice, we do not include the key screen package, the keys as part of our screen game. For us, screens are plays where we have linemen out in front. If it's just a wide receiver key screen or comet screen off our inside zone, we really don't include that in the screen package when we practice the screens, when we game plan the screens. Our first screen is the Rose and Linda, which generally is thrown to the tailback. That's our under screen. We have Rocket and Laser, which is our tailback swing screen, and we'll talk about the differences there as we go on. And then Rex and Lex, which is our wide receiver tunnel screen. So when we're thinking Rose and Linda, we're game planning Rose and Linda. It's usually in the game plan every week. We just need to find a different way to run it each week. I believe that's an excellent zone coverage screen. And what we try to do with our Rose and Linda is give the quarterback a live route or a concept to the opposite side before he goes to the screen. And again, if you're thinking about zone coverage, the way we teach it at Ramapo is, we're getting our eyes on the quarterback, and when that quarterback is looking one way, all of our zone defenders are moving in that direction or melting in that direction. So in order to take advantage of, the defense looking at your quarterback and reading your quarterback, you want to give him a live route or concept to the opposite side or somewhere else before he goes to the screen. For us, it's a center and guard 2-count screen. And the first guy out has the sidewalk, and the second guy out has the alley. And I'll show you what we consider those two blocks as we get to the individual diagrams. For me, one of the most important coaching points for that center and guard is that they don't look back to see if the screen is caught or not. Years ago, we'd find ourselves running screens on, and we'd get to the film, and you'd see the guard looking back to see if the ball was caught or not before he ran up the field and did his job. So, we emphasize that in our practice period. You never look back. Just get to your assignment, make your block, and don't worry whether the ball is caught or not. The other big coaching point for the Rose and Linda screen is that the tailback doesn't go until the offensive line goes. We work hard coaching our tailback to sit on the butt of that guard and, don't get out into the screen until the O-line goes. I tell them it's like, going outside without your pants on. Make sure you have a blocker out in front of you before you go. And that's a big part of the timing of that screen. So the first one that we're going to teach, the way we'll put this play in, is trio right, Linda 95. So Linda is our screen left. Okay, 95 is our stick concept, all right, to the Y side. All right, so if we go through our assignments here, when we run 95 now, we're going to have the Z block the man on. That's his new rule. We changed that at the end of last season. But Z is going to block on. F is going to run a key 2, so that if we do throw the ball to the F, we've got the Z blocking for him. All right, we've got a chance to make some yards up the sideline. The Y has his 5-yard stick route. He's going to get 5 yards, put his outside foot in the ground, turn back to the quarterback. So that's our 95 concept to the right. On the left side, our X, his rule on Linda is to block the deep defender to his side. So here we're looking at it versus a 1-high defense. So he's going to have that corner, try to run him off, all right, and then go ahead and lock onto him and block him. For our offensive line, all right, we tell the backside, the center, guard, and tackle away from the screen. They're going to block our run protection. So against this 4-3 look, all right, the center would look at the mic. He'd step right, protect that A gap, but his eyes are on the mic. All right, the tackle and the guard have man on here. All right, on the front side, the left guard, he's going to set on the nose guard. All right, and the left tackle is going to invite the outside rush, try to get that end working up the field, and he's going to block there. The tailback is going to come down, and his assignment on run protection on offense would be to block this Will linebacker. So he's going to step up and in. His eyes are on the Will. We're hoping that Will is going to drop out of there. He's going to sit in there and try to hide behind the guard. 1-2 counts. When the guard goes out, all right, that's when the tailback's going to turn and get some width and look for the ball. Generally on this play, if we do get a good outside rush by the end, we're catching this ball in the B gap or under the tackle's initial alignment there. So let's go to those O-line blockers again. First out, he's going to have the sidewalk. So in this situation, we want to get him out flat. We're expecting him to block the Will linebacker. We're expecting that center to turn up and block the Mike linebacker. So our quarterback is going to catch the snap, all right, and his first look is at the stick route. He's going to catch, he's going to turn his shoulders and prepare to throw the stick route. our guy would know pre-snap when he sees a one-high defense and he sees this Sam in this apex position, he's probably not going to throw that Y, but we still want him to turn his shoulders, okay? We're hoping he'll stall that Mike linebacker from getting to the screen or even get that Mike linebacker to open up this way a little bit. So he's going to catch it. He's going to turn his shoulders like he's throwing the stick, all right? Then he's going to take an additional two-step drop and come down and dump the ball off to the tailback on the Linda screen. So this has been a very effective play for us, and this is the way we will teach it day one. We'll teach it as trio right, Linda 95. If we get a too high coverage, okay, now much better chance of throwing the stick route. We've got our key 2 out here as part of the 95. Most teams that we play, because we throw a lot of key 2, they're going to cover down here. That Sam's going to be at least apex, all right, and he's going to get some width on the key 2, all right. He shouldn't be able to be a factor on the Y stick. So same play, quarterback takes a look. Excuse me, man. And he should be able to zip that ball right into the Y on his 5-yard stick route. The guy who can defend that in this look is this Mike linebacker. If he's going to stay in the box, we're going to throw the stick all day. Okay? If he now starts to widen or sprints to the stick, okay, now the quarterback is going to, again, turn his shoulders, all right, but he doesn't like it because the Mike gets under it, then he'll come back down to the tailback. When we get a too high look to the Linda side, the X's rule is to block the deep defender. All right, so he's going to release for about 5 yards, hunt up that safety, see where he is, and then take an angle that's going to allow him to block the safety. The guard now is going to have the corner. He's nice and flat. He's going to see the corner come up and block him. And now the center is going to have the first backer, which will be the Will. So much more conflict on the defense when they want to play a too high shell here because they really are going to struggle to cover down your trio look. Much greater chance for us to throw the stick against too high than if we saw a one high look. If we get zero or blitz coverage, okay, so the 95 is the same deal. What we do tell our Z receiver, his rule is to block on, but if he's got man coverage, all right, press man, we're not going to block that guy on. We're going to run him off. So he would end up running a fade. Okay. Now, to this side, we're in a Ron protection. Linda's screen for us is Ron protection. The offensive tackle is covered, and he's got an edge blitzer. He's got a second guy who's going to be coming off the edge. So in our terminology here, all right, our right tackle is going to say alert, alert. The center would answer back east, east, and now we know we've got a 3-man slide here going to the right. We pick up the edge blitzer. We pick up the B-gap rusher with the right guard, and then the center's got to get a piece of this A-gap rusher here. All right, it's a 2-count screen, so he can slide over, get a punch before he goes. To the front side, your tailback now sees the edge rusher. He's going to have to pick that up. Guard and tackle are blocking man on. Inside, you get inside move from both guys, and the tailback sees he's got an edge rusher. All right, what we tell that tailback to do is to attack that edge rusher, hit him as hard as he can with an inside number aiming point, and then get off him as fast as he can. We would like to stop that guy's feet. And I'll show you a clip later where our guy doesn't do a great job of stopping the edge rusher's feet. We want to hit that guy, should be a big collision, okay? And then we're going to use our inside arm to push him outside. We're going to roll off him to the inside. But we think it's real important that he doesn't just whiff on that block, all right? We want to see him stop the edge rusher's feet, okay, so our quarterback doesn't take a hit before he's ready to throw the ball. The boundary X, he's got press man, block deep defender versus press man. For us, turns into a fade route. Now, our quarterback should come up on the line of scrimmage. He should see pre-snap that the Y is covered. All right, so I'm not going there, and we expect him to recognize zero coverage. we would like to see him take a shot for one of these deep verticals. Field vertical is awful tough to throw, depending on your guy's arm. So we would probably look to throw the boundary vertical to the screen here. The issue throwing Linda screen or tailback under screen versus man coverage, all right, is that will linebacker. All right, he's assigned to cover the tailback. If he's jumping that tailback right now, that thing can get pretty messy. We've messed around with we call zero Otis coverage. We messed around with an Otis call to the offensive line by the quarterback that, tells that front side guard, hey, he's got to get that will now. As I said, we played around with it a little bit. My answer would be if I'm seeing a lot of zero coverage, I'm probably not calling Linda screen because we like Linda better versus zone than versus man. But that's your tough block is when that will linebacker is jumping the tailback right now in man coverage. The guard or sidewalk blocker's got to be the guy that gets to him. And sometimes we've struggled with that. So let's take a look at this one. A couple clips that we have from this year. Okay, here we're playing St. Joe's Regional, one of the top teams in New Jersey. I believe they were ranked first this year. We're in trio left, and we're running Rose screen, so Rose 95. And I just showed the diagrams to one side. Rose and Linda are mirror plays here. Trying to use our tempo here. You can see big old 74. He's not lined up yet. Their linebackers aren't lined up yet. We're set on the ball, ready to go. All right, so pre-snap right now, quarterback sees that he's got a good stick route to the Y and that he should throw that football. Catch, throw, and I think I mentioned that I like screens, the Rose and Linda screen a lot on first down. This was a third down play where I believe we got up on the ball real quick, tried to catch them before they were ready to go, and we pick up a first down there. Again, how important tempo is here, getting teams before they can get ready, before they can line up. Get a look at the tailback. Like to see him hiding behind the guard a little bit more on this, but he should be waiting, and the timing's not bad there. Now we're in trio right. Okay, running Linda 95. This time they're set, they're ready, lined up. I don't know how many of you guys run into problems with the officials right here. We just got a first down, so the officials holding it, so we're not able to take advantage as much of tempo here. So now the quarterback's going to take a look at this Y and probably thinks that this linebacker's in a position where he's going to be able to cover that stick route. Right? He gets his eyes there. He bails a little quicker than I'd like. I'd like him to really show his shoulders to that Y a little bit more, like he's going to throw that ball, maybe a little more of a hesitation. But old number 74 is a full scholarship player at Rutgers, and our right guard's about 195 pounds. So 270 versus 195. I think he was worried about getting this thing off in time. So there you see our timing with the tailback and the guard is pretty good. We're right in that B gap area. Our quarterback finds a throwing lane. And now we've got our tailback with the ball. These four guys that we couldn't really block anyway, are rushing the passer. And we've got two linemen on two linebackers and a chance to pick up a big play. Get a look at it from behind. Again, I'd like to see him sell that just a little bit more to the stick, but he does a good job. We find the throwing lane, and we get a real positive play. Here's one more time later in the game. There's our trio right. We're throwing Linda 95 here. see, again, the tailback does a nice job of delaying, getting out in phase there. And I put this one on here because I think you'll really want your tailback to stretch this thing to the perimeter. All right, I think he makes a cut a little bit too early here. He wants to set up that guard's block by staying wider longer before he cuts it up and get north and south. Again, we don't want him running to the sideline. We want him to use that guard's block, but he could have been just a little more outside before he cut it up. You see how the defender jumps underneath our offensive guard. See the quarterback's eyes going away from the screen, get number 31, this linebacker, to start to work one way. And we come back and we're able to hit the screen. Here's a clip from 2 years ago, and we run the same play back to back. It's first down, as you can see on the sticks there. Quarterback catches, and he's able to put the stick route in there. If you watch all the guys to the Linda screen side, they're frustrated because they don't understand why we didn't throw the screen here. You see, we got a real good screen play going. Our offensive linemen are out in front, and they turn around, what the heck you doing? But that's going to happen sometimes in this offense when you give your quarterback options. Hey, he's going to take what he thinks is right, and you may not always agree with his decisions, but you need to support him on it. He felt he could get the stick ball in there. He catches it, throws it, gets it in there. We pick up a completion. So what do? It's now 2nd and 4. Let's get on the ball. Let's run the same darn play again. So now he looks. We get good movement out of everybody on the defense because we just threw the ball to the stick. You get a good look at the tailback waiting on the guard. We find the throwing lane. And we're able to get out the door for some pretty good yardage. Here's one more example in the same game. Here we get an edge blitz from the stick side. So pre-snap, I think our quarterback must be saying to himself, well, I'm not going to go to the stick because I've got 3 over 3 there. All right, I'm probably going to have to come to the screen. But he still needs to take a look because as he takes a look, he gets the blitz. All right, and we're able to complete the pass. Don't love the Y stick route. He recognizes the blitz and kind of just sits down there. I'd still like to see him run 5 yards, put his outside foot in the ground. Got a different tailback in here on this one, but you notice he does a good job as well timing things up and staying in there behind his guards. Give you 1 or 2 more clips. This was our backup quarterback 2 years ago. He did a great job from a technique standpoint. Maybe not as talented as the other guy, but a good technician. See, he gets a real good turn on the stick route there. All right. His eyes are that way. We're trying to get the defense to move that way. And then he lays it off. And again, we were able to find that throwing lane each and every time. So we throw a direct ball right to the running back. We're not lobbing the ball over anybody's head. And we've got some games going on here with some different stunts. We're able to pick things up and get out on the edge. Okay, let me skip ahead now to some variations, some of the things that we like to do off the play. We get into what we call green formation. We call green a little bit differently than Noel. I believe in Noel's green, the tailback is away from the Y, the F is to the Y side. We're generally building 3 and 1 out of green formation a lot. And this is the guy we like to send in motion, our F. He's usually a receiver. We like to keep a 4 wide package in the game most of the time. We don't do a lot of personnel subs, so this would be our F. So really for us, it's not much different than dual. In dual right, the F would be lined up right here in dual right, and then in green, we just bring him back to here in that formation. So he's in fast motion, which means he's going to be about where the ball is snapped. He's going to be about the outside foot of the right tackle when the ball is snapped. He's going to run his comet or swing screen there. On the outside, we've got the Y and the Z. We're going to block for that. In this case, the Sam or strong safety is outside the Y. So for us, we'd make a cab call here, and Z would crack, and Y would block the corner there. So right now, we've got a pretty nice situation here. We've got 2 blockers for 2. We add the extra receiver. All right, the comet should be excellent for us. The offensive line, Linda is Linda. The X receiver, Linda is Linda. The quarterback catches the ball. And against one high, all right, we're really looking for that Mike linebacker. Does the Mike linebacker expand? Does the Mike linebacker become the extra guy on the comet? Okay. If he stays in the box and doesn't become the extra guy in the comet, we catch the ball. We've got numbers. We've got a big play. If the Mike expands, well, we don't have a guy to block him on the screen. So if he expands, we're free to come back to the screen. We've got the sidewalk guard blocking the will. All right, we've got the center blocking the buck, and we've got a good play here that looks like our comet screen. Quarterback catches, looks just like he did on the 95, turns his shoulders, adds 2 steps, and then dumps the ball down. You see it against different looks. All right, what too high does to the play is now we've got to look at the Mike or the strong safety, because some teams in too high will roll that safety down. So if we get a hard roll down from the safety, that would take the quarterback off the comet and have him drop the ball to the tailback on the screen.
Drew, we got a question from Hank. I think this was referring back to the film you're just showing, but it just says, do you ever set trips to the boundary when running that play?
We have done it. It's not something we do a lot. It depends on what your adjustment to trips in the boundary would be. Obviously, if you're going to load up against our trips boundary look, I think it would be a great play to run Rose and Linda to the field. So it becomes a numbers game when you like 3 receivers into the boundary. For us, everything in game planning starts with how are you going to defend those 3 receivers? Are you going to take away our key game to the 3 receiver side? And if you load up the boundary to take away the key game, we would definitely come back to the field with, could be Exxon, could be the Giants play, could be the Rose and Linda screen. 0 high, green fast Linda Comet. Just talking to Noel and listening to him through the years, really likes motion against 0 coverage. All right, motion against man-to-man looks. So you get into green fast Comet. What I would tell the quarterback in this situation is if the man coverage is trailing the Comet, go ahead and throw it. If you think, if that guy's behind, we can throw that Comet. Now here I show the Z and the Y both blocking their men, but if that guy's in your face in man press, hey, we don't want to get in a fight on the line of scrimmage with that guy. All right, we would rather go ahead and run him off. So both of these receivers have the option to run off versus press. Quarterback could decide he liked the Comet. He could decide he liked the one-on-one matchup with our X, all right, or he could end up throwing the screen. So in this case, we've got a couple things going on here. And another reason we really like this one versus man coverage is now that linebacker who's got the tailback is coming from this side. He's seeing this Comet coming at him, and I think there's a much better chance for him losing the tailback or being late on the tailback when the tailback is crossing the ball on the screen. So this one is a better man-to-man screen for us than maybe the trio Linda 95. I think you have a lot more options here and a lot better chance to get the ball to the tailback on the screen because of where the mic is and where he's got to go to cover this thing. Take a quick look at that. So for us, this is blue and it ends up being Rose. All right, so blue fast, Rose 95 would be the call. Why the quarterback didn't throw that? Not so sure. All right, probably is there, but doesn't like it, comes back down, dumps the screen. Kind of like I talked about before, we like to see that running back cut this thing up inside the guard right here. If he's just patient and using his guard, we talked to him about, use the guard as your shield, be patient there. I think he probably had a better run if he cut it back up inside. But this is a good misdirection screen. We've got a linebacker right here. All right, we've got him running. This linebacker, he's going this way to cover the Comet, and we're throwing the screen back here. So we've done a good job with this play establishing some misdirection in the screen game. Not thrilled with that motion. Would like to see him much faster on that motion. And this is that clip is a 2 years ago clip. What we're doing now is we're putting him in a Zorro alignment, which is a little bit deeper, okay, at least a yard behind the quarterback, all right, and we'll take the F motion and we'll go right between the quarterback and the tailback when we're running our fast motion. So that's something we started doing last year, and I really liked the way it cleaned up our motions, made our motions faster, and didn't cause us to bow 7 or 8 yards away from the line of scrimmage. But this play, in my opinion, is a great misdirection screen. I think one thing is I haven't called this one enough in the last couple of years. We should be calling this thing a whole lot more than we have been. Here's another example. You get a man coverage team. You definitely have an adjustment. They're running out there hard with the Comet. Quarterback takes a look, adds to the drop, comes back down. And we're able to pick up a real positive play there. There you see how we have our tailback a little deeper now. This year, the motion comes in front of him. The motion causes a defensive adjustment, right? Make those guys adjust, right? Especially when they're playing man coverage. So looks like 34. Their 34 was on our 34. This linebacker's on 13. The motion occurs. They have to bounce. And that man coverage guy now is late getting to our tailback. He's not right on him. Gives us a chance to get to him, get him blocked, and get a real positive play. Okay, so now we're in dual left. Here's our F. All right, he's in F quick motion. Okay, so instead of lining them up in green and sending them across, we're motioning at a dual in F quick. The one thing that this means to our quarterback now, all right, we still have the Comet going on over here, so it's dual right, F quick, Linda, Comet. But when we run a Comet with F quick motion, now we want the quarterback to ride the tailback, because what happens is the ball is snapped when the F is here. All right, he's not out here behind the tackle. Okay, so we can't just catch and throw the Comet. All right, we want to ride that, and that does two things for us. It allows the F to get outside on his Comet. It also allows us to peek at the end man on the line of scrimmage, because he has time, much more time now to run outside and get on that Comet. All right, that keeps us from, throwing an interception or being, it keeps our timing from being bad. So whenever you're running the F quick motion and you have a Comet with it, all right, we tell the quarterback, now you're going to ride. If it's fast motion, it's catch and throw on the Comet. But F quick, he's going to ride. Doesn't really ride it well there, doesn't spend enough time, but he's taking a look. He's putting his shoulders over there. All right, we've got a defensive stunt here, as you can see. They've got a twist going on, so big old 74. All right, he's all over our Comet. We come back to the Linda side. And again, Linda Comet for us is a big-time misdirection play. This thing might have gone all the way. We get a missed assignment right over here. All right, when we're running Linda, if you're the X receiver, your job is to block the deep defender, all right, to your half of the field. So this was a too deep shell. All right, he should have been down here on this safety. All right, and we have a better chance for a big play. This sidewalk blocker, he probably could have continued out to the corner. And if X got the deep block that he should have made, again, I think we've got an even better play than we have there. Okay, this was a new one for us last year that was tremendously productive. We like F Shack. We're a big F Shack team. Okay, and now we combined Linda screen with our F Shack. The rules on F Shack for us are Z, run a post, Y, run a basic or a 12-yard dig. Okay, F has the shallow. All right, now for X, we tell the guy to the Linda side, we signal him Linda. His rule stays the same. He blocks deep defender. Okay, what we've done for the quarterback now, our normal F Shack progression, all right, versus too high. And we use some of the R4 terminology, but we tell him his rhythm route or his first look would be X on a go. His second look on regular F Shack is Y on the basic. And his third look on regular F Shack is the F on the shallow cross. Again, when we call F Shack, we're trying to get guys to bail out, cover deep, so we can get the ball down to our F on the shallow cross. But when we tag it with Linda screen, now we change it shallow to screen. And this gives me a way, if I want to change up the read, change up the progression for him, I can tag it with Linda, and now he's basically 1, 2, 3 shallow to screen. And what we told him last year, okay, is he is going to throw the shallow if he gets an inside linebacker blitz, all right, or a linebacker blitz, we would like to throw the shallow. If we don't get linebacker blitz, we are going to come off to the Linda screen. Okay, here it is with one high. I skipped ahead, excuse me, but against a two-backer look, either inside backer comes, we're going to hit the shallow, okay? If the inside linebackers don't come, we're going to throw the screen. And this is a very effective play because one high zone or man, when this linebacker sees our F running in front of him, and our F is usually one of our best players, if not our best player, right? If it's man coverage, it definitely distracts the linebacker. And if it's zone coverage, he's either going to look to get a jam, or maybe his coach has done a great job and said, hey, on the shallow, they want to throw the 12-yard dig behind, so you want to get depth as soon as that shallow comes. You want to think, go back and cover that Y. Either way, I think we get a real good reaction off of him. They don't seem to be thinking about screen when they're getting shallow cross in front of them. All right? If it's zero coverage, okay, Linda is Linda. F Shack to the front side. X, if you've got press man, you're supposed to block the deep defender, but you can block him just as well by running a fade. I would tell the quarterback, if we like this matchup in press, throw the X. If you don't like it, read it shallow to the tailback. So here we are. Again, when do we like it? We like it on first down. So you can see the sticks up there. It's 1st and 10. All right, we're in dual left. Rose F Shack. Rose F Shack here. All right, quarterback's going to get a blitz from these inside backers. The old cross dog. So 1, 2, 3. Come back and hit your shallow. And we're in the end zone. And, hey, Our guy was tough to cover. We had a real good F, and fortunately we were a little better here. They weren't able to keep up with us. Now that one play enabled us to throw this 3 or 4 more times the rest of the game and then get the ball to the screen. So here we're in dual right, okay, and we're going to run Linda F. Shack. Any of you guys who run shallow cross, and a couple guys mentioned this on the forum, the basic rule is for the tailback in dual, you're with the Y, except when we're running F Shack. That's the only pass play, base pass, that we put the tailback to the same side as the F. Run plays can take him to the same side as the F because all he cares about is the run call. But in the pass game, he knows that, hey, F Shack, I got to jump over and be on the same side as the F. Because we don't want to run a swing or a screen to the side that the F is running. You know, it gets people over there. So there you see the shallow cross. Now we do get a blitzer here, so he could have thrown the shallow. 1, 2, 3. He sees the linebacker. I'm sure he saw that linebacker, so he's going to drop it off on the screen. 23 is only a sophomore for us. He probably ran it the worst out of the running backs that we have in general. But you can see him trying to step up toward the guard's butt. We get the inside rush, so he figures, hey, I'm just going to get out right now. All right, he's out a little bit early in front of the guard, but we still got ourselves a real positive play. And again, watch what the shallow does to 54, who probably has 23, has the tailback in man coverage. Shallow takes him off his man coverage, distracts him, and we pick up big yardage. Okay, here's another one I wanted to show you. Okay, because I think our tailback is trying to do what he's supposed to do, but doesn't do it well enough. We've got an edge blitzer now. All right, this is dual left, Rose F Shack. Well, against a 3-down front, the tailback's got the edge blitzer. He's got to hit him as hard as he can and get off him as soon as he can. Very soft shoulder, all right? Like to see him stop number 23's feet there just for a moment. All right, got to be a little bit thicker on that. Could the quarterback have thrown the F Shack? Absolutely. Might not have been as big a play, but he could have. He decides not to. Come to the screen. And we're still able to pick up a big run. The other thing to notice, again, that drill we talk about with our quarterbacks. If the pressure's coming inside, you're going to roll out to throw the screen. We're not going to lob the screen over 23's head, give the defense a chance to react, maybe allow that kid to make a great play. We want to start to move to the side, all right, and create a throwing lane. During the kicking game period is when we'd like our quarterback coach to work on a lot of these drills. Get your quarterbacks, work screen drill, work awkward throw drill here. He's going to drop down and maybe try to throw that thing sidearm, whatever he has to do to get the ball out there. Hey, come back to it again. It's been working for us. And now it's dual left, Rose F Shack. Looks like we got a zone coverage, so the defense's eyes are on the quarterback. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we get the linebacker, both linebackers to kind of run with our shallow, dump the ball off to the screen, pick up another very positive game. I would say trio right, Linda 95, Green Fast, Linda Comet, and dual right, Linda F Shack. Those have been the 3 best ways that we've had to run the Rose and Linda screen. Give you 2 more quick cuts here, or 1 more quick cut. So now we get another team that looks like they're playing man-to-man. This is not as great a look as I would like, but what we're going to see is this linebacker. He's the blitz linebacker. Sorry about that one, fellas. Just give me a second. We actually get a blitz linebacker. Tough to see. He started in the middle. He came up and blitzed, and the man on our tackle dropped off. So the quarterback read that as a blitz, went down and threw the F shack. Okay, they got a guy in position to make a tackle. He doesn't make it. We pick up a first down, I think. Would we have had a great screen here? Yeah, probably would have. But again, you give your quarterback a rule. You hope he follows it, and you hope it works out for you. There you saw the blitzer, all right? Again, we told him inside linebacker 44, he shows up to blitz. There's a nickel guy who looks like he's on the line of scrimmage. He's going to end up dropping off. So it's really still only a four-man rush. But the quarterback's got a nice lane there, and fortunately they miss a tackle for us. Okay, here's earlier in the ball game. All right, now we're in dual left. Rose F. Shack. There you see our shallow cross. Again, 13 was a heck of a player for us. They're in man coverage. And here's the linebacker assigned to the tailback. Well, he wants to get that shot at our shallow. And we're out the gate. Get a better look at it from behind. If it's man coverage, 50's got to be the guy that's covering the tailback. Well, there comes the shallow. Let's get a piece of him. Boom. And then we're out the gate on the screen. Again, those are our three base ways to run it. We wanted a way to run it to the strong side as well. We run a route called Jayhawk, very similar to Honda. It's a little bit more of a West Coast version of Honda. It's curl option routes on the outside. F has a key. Y has what we call a middle option. So if he saw one high, he's going to get over the ball at 5. And on our Jayhawk play, the tailback has a swing or flat to the strong side. So that's the Jayhawk route. We can tag Jayhawk with Linda. Again, what I try to do with the quarterback is give him one route to look at and then go to the screen. So if it's Linda Jayhawk, the quarterback's going to take a 3-step drop. He's looking at the Y on his middle option. Okay, if he likes it, throw it. We'll take the 5-yard gain, turn and run. If he doesn't like it, then we're going to come off to the Linda screen. Okay. Bad picture here or bad diagram. Z should follow his Linda rules. He should have deep defender probably instead of running the curl route. If we get too high, all right, the Y nose versus split safety, his middle option takes him down the middle of the field on a post route. Again, the quarterback has one read, middle option to screen. So now he takes his 3-step drop, all right? He's looking for Y on the middle option. If that Sam linebacker gets a lot of depth, jams him up, doesn't give him a nice clean release on his middle option, then we drop the ball down to the tailback on the screen here. All right, Z's got his same rule, block deep defender. So the Z would be chasing that safety. Hey, he could be chasing him and the ball might get thrown down the middle of the field, okay? Or we come to the screen, this guy's covering the Y, he reacts late, and he gets blocked by the Z. Sidewalk blocker has the corner, alley blocker has the Sam linebacker, and we're off to the races. 0 high, what we would teach our quarterback is best vertical matchup, and all Linda rules apply there. So here's one cut of it. It gets a little messy. I'm not sure we're gonna stay with this one in the future, but we wanted something at a duel where we're running the screen to the Y side. This one seemed to fit certain game plans. Better middle of the field play. Y needs to tighten his split so the quarterback has a chance to look at him. 1, 2, 3. Quarterback is probably too early here. Shouldn't be 1, 2, 3 screen. We were getting a ton of pressure in this game. These guys This is one team that did a job on us this year. They beat us up pretty good with a lot of good pressure. We get the inside rush from 67. He beats it. We still pick up a pretty positive game. Other things that we've experimented with and that we've run, our Y this year, we really like him. He's a stud. We are going to combine the caddy route with Linda. Okay? So now everybody's running caddy. Y's getting over the top of the mic. Quarterback, he can take a pre-snap look at the X, but we're basically going to have him go Y cross to the screen. 1, 2, 3. Throw the Y cross. Mike walls the Y cross. Come down to the screen. Like this one a lot. Same deal against too high. 1, 2, 3. Throw the Y cross. Mike walls the Y cross. Come down to the screen. Zero coverage. Okay. We can go to our verticals on the outside. Okay. On either side on the vertical. Y cross to the screen. So here's one we ran in preseason last year. Okay, there's the Y. The timing's a little bit too fast there. All right, we'd like to delay that screen a little bit. I think our quarterback, speeds everything up too fast. This is early in the season. We should be 1, 2, 3, eyes on the Y, then add 2 and dump it down to the screen. We go there a little early, but again, it gives us a way now to run the screen out of our normal dual formation. Some other things that we've messed around with and that we're thinking about, if you like running slip or the split zone play and the Cowboy Seattle off of that, formationally what we do, we have a formation we call red, where we take our Y, who's our bigger physical wide receiver, we put him in the backfield, we have the F come up here, and he plays the slot to the right in red. We run red and black. Black is the mirror formation. But we like the split zone play out of red, and we like Cowboy Seattle off the split zone play. So no reason you can't run red, Cowboy odd, and then go Linda Seattle. What we would have the quarterback is he would tell the running backs, Cowboy odd. Okay, tell the T and the Y, Cowboy odd. He'd tell the line, Linda, Linda. So the line would block Linda. He'd signal Seattle to the wide receivers. Okay, signals Linda to the X. So now he's going to ride that T. He's going to start his half roll. Okay. Take a look at the F on the sail route. Okay. And then come back to the tailback screen. So again, simple Linda screen. Combine it with other things that we do. Maybe you like Honda. You're a big Honda team. Simple Linda screen. Combine it with Noel's Honda route. Couple guys that I've talked to really like sprint out as part of their end zone package. So, here's an example of Rhett Peltier's rail route. Right here, we run curl, wheel, and flat, and they're going to sprint to it. So you can sprint to it and run Y Linda. Years past, we've run a little Y Linda. So if you have a good tight end, have him set, pass pro, 1001, 1002. Okay, and then he becomes the screen guy. So you're really, you're just limited by your imagination here, how you want to incorporate the Rose and Linda screen into the other things that you're doing. But none of it changes for the offensive line. It's all consistent for the offensive line. You might call a route that you're real comfortable with and your quarterback's comfortable with. If you're a big sprint out guy, hey, getting out here, that defense is going to move this way, and now you can come back and dump your screen to the Y. So that's what we've been doing with Rose and Linda. Some other ideas. I know a lot of guys out there have been doing some other different things as well, but it's really been a great play for us. Jacob, do you have any questions up for the guys?
I don't have any questions up right now, but if you guys have anything, go ahead and type them into us, and we can get them answered. Okay.
I'm going to move on to the second screen that we teach. And, again, day one, we would put in our Linda screen. Okay. Day two, using a 3 install day, we would go to Rocket Laser. Day 3, we would go to the Rex Lex screen. And then the 4th day of training camp, we'd be back to Rose and Linda. And, every day during a practice week, we're going to spend 10 minutes in screen drill on one of those screens. So Tuesdays, Rose and Linda, Wednesdays, Rocket Laser, Thursdays, Rex and Lex. That's how we coach it and teach it. And I'll show you our screen drill, which is something that we got from Noel that I think is a real important part of what we do and has helped us tremendously in the screen game. Rocket Laser is the tailback swing screen. If we're seeing a lot of man coverage, this is the screen that we like to go to, okay? Because what we're going to do in Rocket and Laser is we are going to crack block the man who is covering our tailback. And, so that's real effective. One way to handle man coverage is to run that F shack and run the Rose Linda off that. Another way is to crack the guy who's covering the tailback. This is a front side tackle and guard screen. So now it's not a center guard, it's front side tackle and guard. What we tell our guys is to set and then avoid. There's no punch. There's no 2 count like Rose and Linda. This is set, pass set on your guy on the line of scrimmage, then hit an escape move and make sure you go flat and fast to get out in front of the back. We combine this Rocket and Laser with either a wide receiver screen or one of our quick game routes. So day 1, the way we're going to teach it is out of green. We're going to teach laser, chevron, okay, as our first way of putting the laser screen in. So laser to the left, rocket to the right. So chevron, our base combination. Here in New Jersey, we can start with our guys usually the second week in June. So, our guys have been running chevron all summer. We haven't gotten to any screen game yet, but no problem to run chevron. Second day of training camp, it'll be in, and the kids will be very good at it. So we're running chevron to the strong side here, okay? And then on the back side, we're running our laser screen. X, you're going to crack the will. Our F runs the swing screen, okay? What do we tell our F? We tell him to run this with pace. We've experimented with a little inside jab step, but what we don't want him to do is outrun our tackle. He can move his alignment in. Instead of being head up on a tackle, he can be slightly more in the B gap, take a little step up with his inside foot, and then run his swing screen, but run it with pace. Do not sprint outside and outrun your tackle. Okay? Same as with Rose and Linda. We don't want to outrun our guard. Here we don't want to outrun the tackle. So now, what do we tell our quarterback? He's going to take a quick 1, 2, 3, and he is going to throw the swing screen. Okay? 1, 2, 3, throw the screen. What would keep him from throwing the screen is if we get a defensive end who peels on the screen. Right? If we get a defensive end peel or an edge blitzer who peels on the screen, okay, he should know that by his third step, put his foot in the ground, and come back and read his chevron snag to swing. Okay, and at Ramapo, we read the chevron route. We read it snag, corner to swing. I tell him on laser screen, because we've got the guard and tackle avoiding right away, it's really got to be swing screen, 1, 2, 3, get the ball to the snag, get it to the screen right away. You may not have time to hitch to a corner route or even evaluate it. 1, 2, 3, swing. 1, 2, 3, up, somebody peeled, get the ball to the snag. Okay? And because our eyes start to the left, that snag route is usually open. It's going back here, left guard and left tackle. All right, set. Hit your escape move. Okay? Tackle's got the sidewalk. Guard's got the alley. Okay? And again, a consistent rule for us. One of the things that allows us to be multiple is very similar to Rose and Linda's screen. If you're not in the screen, you're blocking the opposite protection. So on laser screen, we're blocking Ron protection. If it were rocket screen, we would be blocking Lou protection.
Coach,
Okay.
when do the linemen pull up the field so you can throw the chevron?
When do the line, they block laser screens. So the tackle is flat and fast. He's going to block the corner. The guard is going to set and avoid. As soon as he clears the tackle box, that's when he starts to work up the field on the will linebacker. Okay? My defensive coordinator says we cheat all the time. Defensive guys are always like that. We're always cheating. We always have linemen downfield. All I can tell you is it's never been called on us. Okay? In our run pass option game, in our screen game, we have never been called for a lineman downfield, and he's on a screen path or he's on a run play path. It just doesn't happen. So that's the best thing I can tell you about that. The little bit of an issue when you're throwing it too high is that hard corner. Here's where it becomes important that your F doesn't outrun the tackle because he's got to get inside that. Okay, we need the tackle to be able to get out there in front of him and block. We were fortunate to have a very good left tackle this year. He is a full scholarship player down at Rutgers, 6'5", 230. He ran well. He's a defensive end down there, but he really made our laser game go. If you've got big, slow tackles, you might struggle a little bit with that. We're fortunate to have longer, taller tackles. For us, our tackles are converted tight ends. Guys who would be good attached tight ends end up playing tackle for us. True linemen end up playing guard for us. If you're a big kid, 260, 270, 250 even, you're probably one of the inside three. If you're somewhere between 205 and 235, now you're probably a tackle for us. We don't get too many athletes over 235 that are athletic, so they're usually inside at guard. But again, same deal here. We've got the crack block. We've got the tackle kick in the corner. We've got the wall off, alley guard in the alley here. If there no linebacker shows up in the alley, then he can continue upfield to block the safety. If teams are scouting us and they're in the 4-3 cover 2 and they see that tailback release on the swing screen, they got to figure chevron's coming. That Mike should be working in this direction. Okay, love it versus zero coverage. Again, this is our man screen. We want to run rocket and laser when we're seeing a lot of man coverage, because now what are we doing? We are crack blocking the guy who is covering man to man. Hopefully we're getting 2 for 1 because we're getting that corner to run inside. And I'll show you a couple clips where we've got 2 pullers and a back running down the sideline because they're in man coverage and we cracked the guy playing man. They didn't peel blitz the will and the corner ran inside. So we just, we're almost walking down the field for a touchdown. Again, run protection for us. No issues with the edge blitzes to this side. Okay. So we've got that handled with these 3 guys right here. All right. Laser is run protection.
Coach, got another question. On the topic of practice time for screens, do you know, this coach is asking if you know if your guys go both ways or do they platoon?
Our guys go both ways. So we practice offense and defense every day. Generally, we have an hour, 55 minutes of defensive practice, 55 minutes of offensive practice is how we work it. Warm-up period is 10 minutes. We have a kicking game skills period. Could be 5 to 10 minutes. Then we practice defense for 55 minutes. When defense is over, we go to the special team of the day. Tuesday's kickoff, Wednesday's punt game, Thursday's extra point and field goal day for us. At the end of special teams, we call it halftime. We take a 5-minute break. The kids get off the field, they get a water, they go away. So we simulate coming out of the locker room for the second half every day, and that's offensive practice is our second half every day. Offensive practice always begins in a team session on the 10-yard line going in, and we run our screen drill for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, however long it takes. But we run screen drill against bags and air going into the end zone to set up our offensive practice every day. So that's the first thing that we do every day on offense as part of 5 to 10 minutes at the most, 5 to 8 minutes out of our 55-minute offensive practice. And I have some diagrams of how we run our screen drill at the end of the presentation. So if you can hang in there for a little bit, we'll definitely get to that. So here's an example of green laser chevron. We don't execute the play very well here. Sometimes talent makes things work well. Our ex-receiver, who was an outstanding crack blocker and used to really look forward to this, he missed the play, so he comes down and blocks on, and we get a little bit of a mess. And again, sometimes athletes make things happen. But you can see the offensive line technique here pretty well when we get to the tight copy. You can see our F, he's in the B gap, so he's moved his alignment in because he doesn't want to outrun our offensive tackle. Now, I remember this game pretty clearly. 53 was giving us a tough time on the pass rush. He was a real hard edge rusher. So looks like our tackle doesn't even set him here. He should, but he goes right to just an escape move on him. Okay? And again, 57's a pretty good player. He was pretty good at that escape move. Boom, 74, he's set, give hands, and he goes. We should have been cracking this linebacker with our ex-receiver, and then we would have had 57, the front side tackle on the corner, and then the guard could have walled up on the safety, and they make an adjustment, and the kid makes a pretty good play. And that was game 2. This is game 1. Here it is. It's green, laser, chevron. Now, I'm not sure what took the quarterback off the laser. I think he should have thrown it here. We've got a crack block. And I'll let it run. But you can see the laser into the boundary here, or into the right side, looked pretty good. He was going to tell me 51 peeled. There's no way he could tell me that. So this ball should have been thrown here. He planted his foot, came back the other way, and was able to hit the snag route. And again, you can see from the timing of that, there's really no danger of getting linemen called downfield. They're going to be within the 3-yard area that they have to do that. Center works the wrong way here. Okay, this is a 4 down front with a single middle linebacker. Center's eyes should have been here, and he should have been working to the right. He should have been on that 34, making sure that kid did not get a hit on our quarterback. So, missed assignment hurts us, but we pick up a big play. I'm gonna move on. I want to show the Rex and Lex diagrams here, and then I'll move on to how we combine rocket and laser with Rex and Lex, which was probably one of our most productive plays last year. Rex and Lex is the wide receiver tunnel screen. Real good against the blitz, all right, getting the ball out there to your wide receiver. We can run this play by itself or as a second option in a combo play. We ask our wide receiver to attack upfield for 3 steps, retrace his original alignment, and run at the quarterback. We've been running this play by itself for about 10 years before we even got into the end zone system, and it's always been a very productive play for us. It's a center guard screen at Ramapo, so we set, we punch, and then we go. So it's the same assignment as Rose and Linda, but we get out quicker. We think of Rose and Linda as a 2-count screen, okay? We think of Rex and Lex as a 1-count screen. Set, punch, and go. All right? Very important that the sidewalk blocker is flat and fast on the Rex and Lex screen. So first day we put it in, we will put it in by itself, okay? Dual right, Rex, and we'll put key 2 on the other side of it, okay? So here you see our key 2 play, okay? Rex screen, so it's a right screen, so the offensive line is blocking loop protection. Left guard and tackle block, loop protection. Center steps left. Okay. Set punch. Center's got the alley to the right. Right guard, set punch. Sidewalk to the right. Right tackle stays man on. All right. Z has got the tunnel screen. Okay. Y has got his push kick on the corner. So these guys are practicing this. For them, it's almost the same as their key two. The difference is the Z is going to continue back to the quarterback further. The Z is going to try to get underneath the guard's kick out block. If it was a key, our quarterback would catch. We would throw it right now, and we would stay outside with the ball. Here we're running tunnel, so we're coming back underneath. But the push kick by the Y, get as far up the field as you can before you come to kick out the corner. That's the same technique you would use on a key one for us. Okay? So, what do we tell our quarterback? All right, pre-snap, he's going to evaluate the key. All right, if this guy were apexed inside, splitting the difference, he might go ahead and catch and throw the key two. If that guy's closer to head up there, all right, we're going to go ahead now and ride the tailback on a fake zone. He's tailback on rec screen. He's going to fake inside zone, and then we're going to ride him, and we're going to throw the tunnel screen. Okay? And we can run it against too high. Same difference. We're probably not throwing key two against a too high look here unless that will's really tight in the box. All right, so he would ride the tailback, and then he would throw the wide receiver tunnel screen. Okay? The tailback has to understand on this play that if he is getting an edge blitz, we are going to tell him to go attack the edge blitz, abort the fake. We don't think the fake is as important when we're getting a blitz. We want to make sure to get that edge blitzer's hand down. Because to try to throw tunnel with an edge blitzer, big chance he's going to be able to knock that down. Tough for the quarterback to make a consistent throw. So we go get him and try to take his hands down right now. We got a blitz coming from this side, so it's loop protection. We alert west. Everybody's blocking left. The center's the alley guy. The guard is the sidewalk guy. And again, we want to come back inside and get in that tunnel, which is underneath the guard's kick-out block. When the Y has a press corner, obviously he can't get up the field at all. He's got to go flat and fast to get to that Z. Now, here's the way we ran the laser and the Rex the most last season. We went trio right, okay, and we ran the laser screen to the left, and we ran the Rex screen to the right. When we run it out of a three-man surface, it's the second receiver that catches the Rex screen. So for the quarterback, it was take a quick three-step drop, throw the swing screen. All right, what would take you off the swing screen? Any peel by the end or peel by any edge blitzer. If for any reason the swing screen is covered, come back immediately, and now you've taken a three-step drop, plant your foot, come back and throw the tunnel. So I think Noel calls this his Harley screen, or used to call it the Harley screen, where he ran it at a duel with laser to one side and Rex screen to the other. We like this a lot. Saw Syracuse run it against West Virginia in the Pinstripe Bowl a couple years ago, and Syracuse really just tore them up with this play 2 years ago in the Pinstripe Bowl. So we kind of took it from them, and it's was really successful for us last year. Against too high, again, another good play for us. Whether we had too high or we had man blitz is where we like it the most. It's you've got man-to-man coverage. You got two good man-to-man screens here. You got a crack screen to this side and a tunnel screen to this side. So, real good way to combine those two concepts. So here's us against Sparta. They were state champs in our group last year. We lost to them in the state semifinal game, but this play kind of got us started in the first half. This is a 3rd and long play. Okay, I'm 3rd and 20 here. I don't have a lot of great calls on 3rd and 20, so we kind of just pulled this one out of our butt. We got lucky that they decided to bring pressure on a 3rd and 20. and we're able to hit it up down the sideline. Okay. I said the crack screen guy was a good crack screener. Doesn't do a great job with this. He's also the captain of our hockey team, so he thinks he's playing hockey here, throwing a shoulder check. That's not how we want him to make that block. Okay, but you've got your tackle out in front, you've got your guard out in front. He cleans the thing up. Over here, you see our tunnel screen. Okay, we've got the Y blocking here. We've got the right guard out running the sidewalk. We have the center late on the alley. So either way, this would have been a good play for us. I'll give our quarterback credit. He's willing to stay in there, takes a little shot there. But we're off to the races. At 43, unfortunately, he's going to be a junior. If we make the playoffs, we've got to play them again next year. I'll tell you what, that kid does a hell of a job chasing the thing from behind. So you got zero coverage, you got a 6-man pressure, and again, 1, 2, 3, get the ball off however you have to there, quarterback, and we're off to the races. Excellent blitz screen, trio right, laser Rex. Okay, here's a team that was playing a lot of man coverage as well. Played us in a little bear front here, I think. 1, 2, 3, get them the ball quickly, and there's nobody out there. These are some of our young guys in the game. This is actually a little bit later in the game, but 72 is our young sophomore tackle. He doesn't set, he goes right away, but he gets himself out there, and he looks to make a block on anybody he can. That was a keep it even penalty. I wish this clip had started a little earlier. It starts a little bit late, so now we're running rocket screen, and we have Lex screen to this side. So we've got the X here. He's going to make his crack block on the will linebacker right here. We should have the tackle and guard coming around the horn. And again, both screens are good versus man. So if we hadn't thrown that, I think we still have a potential screen over here on the Lex. Get a better view from the start, from a tight copy. You watch 72 there. I think that's a good, good pass set and avoid. He gets right out. Okay, we're just basically throwing that guy by us. 1, 2, 3, get the ball off. And now we got 2 guys that we have to block. If teams are going to play you in man-to-man coverage, these are some great screens to have in your arsenal. Here's another example of man coverage. Now you'll see X finally knock somebody out, but this guy is, he's honed in on his man. All right, we've beaten them with that Linda F. Shack screen. So this linebacker, he's clued in. He better not lose his guy, and then we knock him out. That's a pretty physical crack block by our X receiver. And then from there, against man coverage, you get a 2-for-1. And unfortunately, these clips start a little bit late. But man coverage, you got him walking into the end zone. Here's a look at us coming back and throwing the Lex screen. Okay, get a pretty good look at the quarterback there. All right, he feels like he gets a peel from the defensive end. This defensive end peels on the swing screen. I don't want to throw that. All right, they're on it. So he comes back the other way. Now, we've got to do a better job of coaching our Rex and Lex. And I went back and watched all the film, and one of the mistakes that we made oftentimes on this screen is we too often came flat and allowed this guy to get over the top of us. Here's an example where we don't do that. All right, we force that guy to come under. But right there, this Y has to understand we want to force that chase, okay? I don't think that guy's going to catch us. I want to force the chase. I don't want to allow him to play over the top here. And that's something we got to get better at with our Ys. You notice that our F receiver continues back to the quarterback. And that's real important. This is not as easy a catch as you might think, because this guy's got a head of steam and he's running at the quarterback. You really need to drill that a little bit. Not only drill it in your team situations, but have a little time where your quarterback gets to throw to these guys running right at him. Now, once he catches it, he's in great position to turn up in that tunnel. And I wish I knew why our alley player didn't block this linebacker here. He's looking at him. My guess is he decides that guy can't make the play. But, in film, I'm sure we yelled at him for looking back. Right there, you see, watch that center. He takes that little peek. Doesn't need that. Go get that guy. And treat him as the alley player. Kind of unfortunate, the guard. He's flat and fast, and that's what we asked him to do. They react and get over the top, but we get ourselves a nice catch and run there. You can see what the quarterback sees here. 1, 2, 3. He's fully committed to throwing the swing screen, but he feels that the defensive end is a factor, and probably was. Quickly comes back and throws that. Here's just another example of, again, when you've got man coverage, you get a 2-for-1 on your crack block, get the ball out on the edge, and we go. And another thing, some of this stuff looks easy. We practice this swing throw all the time. Every day this summer that we've had to practice, the first 10 minutes of offense is swing drill. One quarterback right here on the boundary, another on the hash mark, another quarterback about 3 feet away toward the middle of the field. Into the boundary, we're throwing Exons and swing screens. To the field, we're throwing chevrons. And we throw these for 10 minutes at the beginning of every practice all summer. We don't have the time to do it during the season, so summertime is when we get good at it. And, it's a quick pass. It's not as easy a catch and throw as you might think. It should be easy, but it's something that needs work, and we use the summer to get a lot of work at that. Would have liked to seen this wide receiver number 3. He's trying to get his crack block. They're trying to keep him off of it. So he does a little dipsy-do there, but now keep playing. He shouldn't stand there and watch the play. Go upfield and block somebody else. Upfield. Last one on this play. Again, another example of man coverage teams. Hey, they want to protect this guy. They don't want to give you the 2-for-1. Well, he does a little dipsy-do there, but again, we still have ourselves a nice positive run. Okay, very good. If you can't protect the passer very well, all right, get the ball out to the perimeter, all right, and let's go. Let's go get 8 yards. Set, avoid, and go on the boundary laser screen. Here are a couple other ideas with the screen game. Other ways you can incorporate the screens. Trio right, Comet Lex. All right, at Ramapo High School, we line up in trio right with the tailback here. There's a good chance we're running Giants into the boundary. That's a key. Hey, that's a play we like to run. So we need something to protect that, something to give them a different look. We run a tailback Comet here, okay? If they're playing one high, we've got a blocker for everybody. We got the tailback as the extra guy. One, catch the ball, okay? 1, 2, 3, throw him the Comet screen, let him run. If that guy were to peel, if that Mike linebacker really runs hard and we think it's a factor, plant your foot and come back now to a single receiver Lex screen. Left tackle blocks on, guard has the sidewalk, center has the alley, 1, 2, 3, retrace, catch the ball, get in the tunnel. Just another way to run a play that's already in your arsenal. You run comets, you run Lex. Hey, put them together. Protect some of your concepts with it. Green fast, comet with Lex on the backside. Now we can really run that tailback in there on the zone. Maybe that will linebacker is being taught. Maybe they're a zone coverage team, and they know we run comet, Linda screen. So he's going to be ready for that tailback on the Linda screen. And then all of a sudden we change it up. We throw comet and we throw a wide receiver Lex screen into the boundary. Guard goes and gets the corner. Center goes and gets the will. And now we can really have that tailback take a nice zone fake in there. All right. How would we coach our quarterbacks here? Okay. If the defense did not adjust to the fast motion, ride the T and throw the comet. Okay. In fact, he wouldn't, if there was no adjustment, he wouldn't even ride the T. Excuse me. So I got to make a change there. He would just throw the comet right now. All right. No defensive adjustment. Go ahead and throw comet. That's our rule with fast motion. Okay. If the defense adjusts to the motion, that's when we would ride the T, maybe take a quick pump to the comet, come back and throw the Lex. And you could probably just ride the T and come back and throw the Lex. So those are the plays that we run with the screen game. Okay. I think the way we drill it is very important. And as I said earlier, we go with a 10-minute period, 5 to 10 minutes, 3 days a week before practice. Offensive practice starts with our screen drill. How do we do it? We put the ball on the 10-yard line going in. We have 6 of the large pop-up bags. Okay. We put 2 on the hash at the goal line. Those are the safeties. We put 2 on the numbers at the 5-yard line. Those are the corners for our sidewalk blockers. And then we put 2 on the near the hash at the 5-yard line. Those are our backers or the guys for our alley players to block. So that's how we set it up. If we're expecting a 2 deep shell, we move the bags around a little bit when we're expecting 1 high. I use 2 coaches because we're running the drill on air. 1 coach is always the edge rusher, all right, and 1 coach usually gives us a linebacker key. So we're going to call and run our screen. We're going to have everybody finish in the end zone. We're going to knock all the bags down on the way. And as soon as the first group quarterback releases the ball on the screen, we get the next group up on the ball. So we usually run this with 3 groups, and we get tons of reps as we go into the end zone here. So here's what it would look like if we're going to drill trio right, Linda 95. So if it's a cover 2 day, okay, we have the 2 red bags on the hash. We have the 2 red bags lined up here as corners and the 2 red bags lined up as outside linebackers. This coach is playing the read for the quarterback. So if he gets width and gets under the Y, we come back and throw the screen. If he were to sit here, we would have our quarterback throw the stick route. All right, trio right, Linda 95. Yep. This coach here, he's the edge rush against the tackle. And if we get an outside rush from the tackle, all right, the quarterback's going to step up, find a throwing lane, okay, and drop off the screen. If we get an inside rush from the tackle, quarterback's going to get some width, okay, to move outside to avoid the rush and make the throw. The other thing that this does for us, and this is probably something I neglected, we are not a team that gets depth in our protection. We are not a vertical set team. Okay, our tackle will vertical set in the screen game. We want our center and guard on the line of scrimmage to set. We want to keep them out of the mess when this tackle gets an inside rush. So while the tackle would like to invite the outside rush, if we get that inside move, the tackle's going to have to take him down, okay, and take an aggressive power step. Well, if you have the center and guard setting on the same level as the tackle, when these guys go to release in the screen, they run into that. We get nobody out there. So our tackle gets a little depth, but we want the guard and center who are releasing to set up and in. So they're going to pass set, but they're an aggressive up and in set on the line of scrimmage. So we're going to avoid that inside rush move up and in as we get out, as opposed to getting on the same level and running into it. And that's something that gets practiced in this screen drill. This is usually my offensive line coach is this edge rush guy all the time. And then our running back coach is this guy on Trio 95 who would give us that look. So here's what it would look like, the screen drill. Trio right Linda 95. The X, hey, he's going to go and get that red bag. Our sidewalk blocker is going to go get that red bag. Our alley blocker is going to get that red bag. All right, we're running our 95 here. And then once the ball's released and thrown and run into the end zone, we have the other guys chase the ball into the end zone, get used to following the play, and then they jog it off and around to the outside, and while the next group goes. If it's not a Linda day, if it's a laser day, well, now this coach becomes the guy who's your peel read. If he keeps coming to the quarterback, we would throw the swing screen there if it's a laser day. If he peels on the swing screen, then the quarterback's got to come back to whatever other combination we have on the backside. So we get a lot out of this drill in terms of reads and repetition. Jake, anybody still awake out there?
Yep. We've got just someone that's wanting if you can go over maybe just the overall schedule of your practices.
I can do that.
If you, maybe just like a general overall thing.
Okay, so we have, for us, on a Saturday game, we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. Okay. What is Tuesday? So Tuesday is usually install 1 for us. So it's screen drill, and it would be a Rose and Linda day. All right, so we go screen, and that's about 5 or 10 minutes. As soon as we get out of screen drill, we go to an individual period. Okay. You know what? There's a better way to do this. Let's see if I have practice plans up here. Give me a second, guys, to just see if I can bring up some practice plans. That would be. I don't have our practice plans up right now, so it's on another computer. This is my presentation computer. It's not my daily stuff, but I'll type it up for you here real quick.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the best things we do is how we've adapted the offense to a 55-minute practice. So. Let's see if is that cooperating? Can we see that?
Yep.
So Tuesday, first thing we do is screen drill, and that's probably a Rose and Linda day. Okay, so now that's 5 or 10 minutes. Then we go to Indy. All right, Indy offense. So it's QBs and wide receivers, and they are running key drill. So for us, it's a 10-minute period, okay, of running the key game. All right, and whatever keys are in for that week, the base key is always in for us, which is out of dual to the Y. So the F side, we run key 2. So we're going to spend 10 minutes drilling the keys with the quarterbacks and wide receiver. It's catching, it's blocking, it's throwing, and that thing moves. And our kids know that because that's every Tuesday practice and every install 1 practice. While that's happening, the running backs are doing their skill work, ball security drills, cutting drills, things like that, okay? And then the O-line is working their run blocks skills, okay? So now, That's our 10-minute indie period. After that, we go to what we call Zorro drill. So Zorro drill is the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the O-line. Okay? And now we are going to line up the inside 5 guys, and we're going to take the key read away. Quarterback knows that the defense is playing our key game, so now we're going to work on Zorro, and we're going to work on it against their, the fronts we expect to see. So I'll have my first offense up there, and we may run 3 or 4 Zorro odds against the looks we expect to see. Come back and run Zorro even 3 or 4 times against the looks that we expect to see during the week. Then we'll go second group, maybe gets 2 or 3 reps. Third group might get a rep each way. We might come back to the ones, and then throw a few slips in there, bring a Y over and run the slip play. But we're going to spend about 10, it could run over to 15 at times, running our Zorro against the defensive fronts that we're going to see. So the quarterback no longer has a key read. He has his keep or pull, keep the ball or hand off or keep read that he's working on that. And during that period, the wide receivers have their indie period. Okay? And then we go to either a pass skelly or a routes on air period. Okay? And the O-line goes pass pro. And then after that, we go to team. So probably the one thing that we don't get enough of during the season is routes on air. Now, we start practicing June. We're practicing 2 days a week from June till the season starts on August 11th. We try to spend a lot of time throwing routes on air, so we're pretty good at those. So during the season, we throw more skelly than routes on air. But it's a 10-minute indie period. It's a 10 to 15-minute Zorro period. Okay? It's a 10-minute period to 15-minute period here, depending on the day, and then team is usually about 15 minutes. And when we run team, that is full live go, signals on the ball, and we are moving. So that's our base Tuesday practice right there. For us, we come out the next day on a Wednesday, and now we run screen drill. We run rocket and laser. So then we get our rocket and laser screens in. Quarterbacks and receivers work pop game because Tuesday is zone day, Wednesday is Giants day. And again, we don't have a lot of runs in the package, so so Wednesday is our pop game, and Giants goes with that. So the running backs have another skill period. The offensive linemen have another run block period. Okay, and then we go to our Giants drill. And just like on Tuesday where we're drilling Zorro for 10 to 15 minutes, okay, now we're drilling the Giants game for 10 to 15 minutes, and we're getting the ball handed off. We're reading the pops during the pop drill with the quarterbacks and wide receivers. I'll put a quarterback out there at linebacker. I'll put a quarterback out there at running back. Some days I'll take the skill period away and actually put the running backs in the pop drill. But we're reading Giants Y pop. We're reading Giants X pop, F pop with our Giants. It's our whole Giants game with the pops passes off of it that are getting read during that 10-minute period. Okay, and then we go to the Giants drill where we're handing the ball off 90% of the time. And usually I actually have my kicker be a wide receiver in the pop game there and just put him in a stationary pop position just so that, maybe 1 out of every 5 Giants during the Giants drill is pull the ball and throw it. And then Wednesday doesn't change. Usually for us, Tuesday is dual passing game and Wednesday is trio passing game. So we throw our base dual routes on Tuesday, we throw our trio routes on Wednesday, and then we finish with a 15-minute team period. So then what happens on Thursday, okay? Thursday can be a review day on the screen game. We clean it up at that point. If we have 3 different types of screens in, we'll go with the third type, or we just review the first 2. Okay. We go red zone one-on-ones usually on Thursday. Okay, with the quarterback and receiver individual period. So that's man coverage stuff. We're not a 2-platoon team. Our kids all play both ways. So, my wide receivers are my defensive backs. So we do a red zone one-on-one during indie period there. Running back drills. Sometimes we bring the running backs down because they're some of our defensive backs as well. We'll bring them down, get them involved in that period, or they'll get an extra pass pro period during that time. Okay? The run of the day is usually Detroit or any counter game that we're working or power that day. Depends on, that's really a game plan run day. Detroit day, counter day, power day, whatever our third and fourth best runs are. We'll work on a Thursday, okay, and then we do get another Skelly period and O-line pass pro period on Thursday, another team period. Usually, I'm just trying to look at this is a day we work our locks and a lot of our other, and some of our other routes in here, a little more play action on Thursday. And then Friday is dress rehearsal day. Probably very similar to most teams' Fridays. We do a lot of it's all team stuff. It's different field zones. We're in goal line. We're in 2-minute. We're in coming out. All those different team type situations. And we do a team blitz pickup situation on Friday. But that's our basic general practice organization. 10 minutes on screen, 10 minutes on indie, 10 to 15 minutes run drill, 10 to 15 minute pass drill, and no more than 15 minutes of team.
Cool. Yep, I think that's all the questions that we've got. I don't know if there's anything else you want to hit.
I'm good. I'm ready to have another beer and go to bed. It's getting late.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Coach. For everybody listening, we will have this up on the site for members, so you'll be able to check it out and review it. Other than that, have a good night. Thank you guys for tuning in.